Do your clothes fit in your chest and nowhere else, or vice versa? Yeah, me too. Exactly the same issue. Or even better, you have some items like shirts and blouses and blazers in your closet that you put them on and it looks like you're basically wearing a cardboard box. Yeah, again, me too. Today, we're going to fix those issues with 2 no sewing tutorials and 1 incredibly easy sew tutorial. By the way, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and I show you how to use what you have to make what you want. So grab those items that don't fit or just look horribly boxy, your scissors, and let's get making. How absolutely gorgeous is this late 1960s, early 1970s delightful disco dancing shirt? It is clearly a men's shirt, but I don't care. We're going to make it very pretty and I'm going to wear it, but we're going to do that without sewing anything. So that's even better. Before we get started though, we have to do some vintage tag appreciation because vintage tags are oh so delightful. Because polyester does not fray, we're going to transform this into an awesome pussy bow blouse. And I have a very quick story time about pussy bow blouses. Now that's the actual name. That's the actual fashion name from history for those blouses that have a tie neck. But a few years ago, the pussy bow blouse tutorial that I had shared got removed by YouTube because it was pornographic, supposedly, because there was, you know, the P word in the name. So I had to change the name of that tutorial to a tie neck blouse. And now it is there once again. So I'll link that down below just in case you missed it. It is an oldie but goodie. But for this one, we're not going to do any sewing whatsoever to make our pussy bow blouse. We're just going to chop and then use that chopped bottom to create our lovely bow. So let's do it. So I have already measured this on myself, and I know I want it to be cropped, but not super cropped, so I'm going to chop it right between these 2 buttons. So just to prove that this really isn't going to fray, I'm going to scratch it and give it a good rub, and you see, it is not fraying. Vintage polyester is so fabulous because it doesn't fray and it's wonderful for no-sew projects like this one. So you can raid your grandpa's closet maybe and steal all of his polyester shirts and go make a bunch of these for yourself. Now grab that chopped bottom and make your tie. For mine, I'm simply going to cut off the button placket on each side. So I have the bottom chopped part of my shirt folded in half now, and I'm just going to do a really gentle cut from the folded corner all the way down, slightly angled until I reach this corner here, just to give it a better shape. Once you have it cut to the size that you would like it to be, then just fold in that raw edge and roll up your absolutely fabulous tie, and you can wear it in such a variety of cool ways. This vintage dress is so freaking cool. And the pattern is pretty amazing. I mean, it is very patchwork together. So it's incredibly busy. Some of it is upside down. Some of it is right side up. It's very busy, but it's very, very cool. Unfortunately, it just won't do up over my chest anymore. So we're going to do another no-sew and make this fit in a totally different way. I have thought so long and so hard about how to cut this to make it into a duster light jacket type of situation here. And I can't just simply go straight up the middle of the skirt because the button placket here, as you can see, is pretty wide. So I think what I have to do is just use the opening of the button placket here and start there and just do like a really gentle angle down until I get more to the center, and then hopefully it just won't be noticeable when I wear it as a little jacket. So let's chop like that. Before I chop anything, I'm going to use my Refashionista brain here, and I'm going to remove this very thick seam, which is at the end of the button placket, because I think that might be a wise idea. I've never done this before, and so, you know, we're just learning together. And if it doesn't work out well, we'll just turn it into something else, right? Because that's what refashionistas do. There's never any mistakes in refashioning, just opportunities to make something better. Right, so now I don't have to worry about any seams or anything like that. And I'm just going to follow this corner of the end of the button placket all the way down. Okay, it is cut, but because I removed the stitches here, I think I'm just gonna hand stitch that back together just so it's a nice line going down and this isn't gonna be flippy flapping around. But this part here also needs a little bit of a curving trim so it goes nicely into the chopped middle of the skirt here, and it's not such a big ka-chunk ka-chunk look. It's me again, just popping in to mention that whenever I do a video where I am showing how to make your clothes fit better on a bigger bust, I always get comments from people saying, but you don't have a big bust. Yes, I absolutely do, but instead of having my body fit into the clothes, I make the clothes fit my body, which is why I look pretty good in my clothes, I think. And yeah, so my size is actually a 32 double F, or sometimes G or even H, depending on the style of the bra or the bikini top. So you know what? I'm right there with you. This is one of the reasons I do what I do, and how it all started was because I inherited a very vintage sewing machine when I was 38. Nothing ever fit me off the rack, so I started teaching myself to sew so I could make clothes fit me better, and now here I am teaching you. And you know what? If you have this same issue as I do, find all the tutorials to help over on my channel. Right above this button or right below this button? Yeah. So we do just below the button, and that's where we're going to chop it. Now I am simply going to ignore Mr. Skelly in the background being a cuckoo banana brain and chop off the sleeves, and I'm going sorry, he's being so funny. I'm going to chop off as close to the seam here as possible, but I'm going to leave this finished interior seam intact just to, you know, make my life a little bit easier. Then I don't have to worry about finishing that off later. And now that the camera's on, now you're going to be shy and silent, right? Okay. Hey, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm Skelly. All right, you can go back to Crazy Town now. Okay. All right, so I have my sleeves inside out and lined up, and I'm just going to eyeball this. I know I need to have, I don't know, about 5-ish centimeters shorter for it to be comfortable. So I'm going to do a little bit less than that because seam allowance, right? And chop on through. So here is the main torso body part of my jacket. I have it inside out, and you know what? It's now like a cute little cropped vest. So if I want to be done, if you want to be done at this point, go ahead and just enjoy your cropped vest. But I want to get these sleeves back in. So I have the jacket vest part inside out, and my sleeve is right side out. And I'm just going to put my sleeve into the armhole here. And the wonderful thing about the side seams or the underarm seams is you can just match them back up perfectly as they originally were. And line up all of the edges as best as you can. And once you have it all nicely lined up, and like I said, you're going to have this overhang here. It doesn't matter. Chop it off later. Just make sure everything lines up nicely. Then go stitch it together and repeat on the other side. So I was thinking I was going to finish off the edge with some of my lovely trims or lace here, but every one that I have tried, I actually don't have enough to go all the way around the edge. So you know what? Let's pop over to Dollarama and get some lace and finish this. So both of my sleeves are now on, and it's time to grab that lovely Dollarama lace here and stitch it on and bind up the hem, and I think I'm going to put it around the top of the sleeve area here as well. And this absolutely gorgeous cropped spring jacket is now complete and ready for action. Again, I have just shown you that you don't need to have the standard perfect body or a huge budget or any budget at all or any special tools or skills or anything like that to create the things you actually want to wear that fit your body, that you feel comfortable in. Everybody can simply use what they have to make what they want. Again, I share new tutorials every single week, so be sure to subscribe. I also want to know which one of these are you actually going to try. And I don't want to hear anything about being afraid to cut something up, because you know what? If you cut it and it doesn't work, then just make it into something else. I have literally thousands of fab-free tutorials right here on my channel, so there's no excuses whatsoever. And if you want to go even deeper, join my wardrobe revolution at refashionistasherry.com. And if you want to hang out with me behind the scenes, I highly recommend becoming a part of my rockin' Refashionista crew. Simply hit that join button and you get instant access to my sustainable style workshop and all of the groovy content that I create just for my members. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag. For just 99 cents a month, you can help save a struggling refashionista. For just 99 cents a month, you can help sustain the much-needed work that goes on behind the scenes. Every thrift flip, every DIY, every upcycle, every free tutorial can only continue with your support. Join my Refashionista crew for only 99 cents a month, less than the cost of 2 bananas or a pack of gum, and help me continue teaching anyone who wants to learn how to use what they have to make what they want. Don't let affordable, sustainable DIY style become an endangered species. Join my Refashionista crew today.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.